Greetings, Flosstube. It is Friday, November 18th, 2016, and today I am coming to you from the Provo Marriott in downtown Provo, Utah. This isn't going to be my usual video because I'm trying to do this on my camera, and I could not get a decent angle to show my face, so I'm not going to. I spent the day with the lovely Kay, and we went to Shepherd's Bush, and I just wanted to show you the stuff that I swore I wasn't going to buy because I'm going to stitch from stash, but this is now officially stash, so I don't suppose I technically lied. Well, I didn't exactly tell the whole truth either, but anyway, it was a lovely day. Kay is absolutely a beautiful person, absolutely every bit as genuine and sweet and funny as she comes across in her videos. You know, she's a very sweet, dear woman, and we had a blast. We just talked the whole time from Provo to Ogden on the way to Shepherd's Bush. Talked about all kinds of things, football, BYU, UMass, cross-stitch, you name it, we talked about it. And it was an absolutely beautiful ride anyway, because I've never been out this far west, and I was totally just amazed by the mountains and the lake, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And after the trip yesterday, it was just a great way to unwind and relax a little bit. We left campus at 3:45 to go to Westfield, Mass, to the Barnes Air Reserve base to catch our charter flight. And when we got there was a fire truck. There were people standing around looking official. Well, apparently either right as we got there or just before we got there, there had been a bomb threat called in. So we weren't even allowed off the bus for a while, and we were like, what the heck is going on? You know, at first we didn't even know it was a bomb threat. And we found out about 15 or 20 minutes after we'd been there. So our whole evening was thrown off, and basically we were like an hour and a half late leaving, which meant that we were not going to have the time to go to Outback because we were supposed to get to Utah. We were supposed to get to Salt Lake City around 8:30, and then the drive from Salt Lake City to Provo is about 45 minutes. Stop at Outback, 9:15 our time here, which would have been 11:15 at home, and have dinner, and then bed check, lights out at 11. But we didn't even get to Salt Lake until 10. So we were 11 getting to Provo, and our ops director had called and told the hotel that we weren't going to be there on time, and was there any way they could have a meal ready for the team. And I have to tell you, the Provo Marriott staff, awesome people. With very short notice, they got a buffet steak dinner together for us. And I was so tired when we got here that I could barely eat, but what I ate was so good. Mashed potatoes and steak and, you know, all kinds of good stuff. And today I had a breakfast. Bill went and had breakfast with the team, and I didn't realize I could have too. So I just did breakfast on my own here in the room. And then Kay got off work around noon, and she came to pick me up, and we just talked and laughed and had a great time. And she's telling me a little bit about the history of the area. And, you know, I knew some of it, but not all of it. And she took me on a little ride around through the BYU campus, which is absolutely beautiful. And I mean, it is no joke, folks. The mountains are literally like right here in your face. Big mountains, big ass mountains, I'd never seen before, you know. And then we arrived at Shepherd's Bush, and we spent a good hour or so in there just shopping around, and it is amazing. That is the kind of local New York store I wish I had access to in my daily life. But anyway, I thought I'd show you my stash that I didn't really need, but that's okay. First off, I got a one-off 992 DMC. I was stitching on Leilani, my hula girl, this morning, and I realized I didn't have the 992, so I had to pick that up so I can work on her on this trip. The rest of it was stuff I didn't need. But first of all, you know how I've told you before that patriotic themes just hit all my buttons. So this is a Shepherd's Bush pattern, and it's Uncle Sam. And how can you not love Uncle Sam in those funky pants? Doing his happy dance because he's free. I just think this is the coolest thing. I love his mustache, and I love his britches. And he's small. So I figured, and it's a pack. It's got the floss and the fabric. So I thought, why not? I love patriotic things. This is kind of a different spin on patriotism. It's like Uncle Sam in Bermuda shorts. So that hit my patriotic button right there. So I got that. Then I got a Utah sampler. And I have gotten into, if I have access to a local needlework store on a place where I've visited, then buying something to stitch that's representative of that place. I've got a couple of cross-stitch patterns from Salty Yarns that are Ocean City patterns that I never stitched. Okay, well, that might be my husband. I doubt it, though. Let me pause this. Okay. I'm not sure what that was. Wasn't my husband. He would have called me on the cell or texted me anyway, but sorry for that interruption. Anyway, where was I? I like to try, if I've been to a place where there's a stitchy store and it has some kind of a little pattern relating to the place, I like to buy those and, stitch them as remembrances of my trip. And I found this. I actually found a different one that was more like a sampler, and then I saw this one, and I loved the fact that it had the Mormon temple. It had the tabernacle and the beehive, which Utah is the beehive state, 1896 for when the state became a state, and the Native American woman doing her weaving. But what I really liked about this one the most was that it has the names of the cities. And we drove through Orem. We're staying in Provo. We flew into Salt Lake City. The Wasatch Mountains are literally right outside the door here. So this one I thought was really representative of the trip. And okay, my phone is running out of juice here, so I'm gonna have to speed this along at 15%. So that's why the light went out. But I just thought this one would be a great remembrance of all the amazing things I've seen while I'm here in Utah. Hopefully it'll be a remembrance of a really good game, although who knows, but we'll see. That remains to be seen tomorrow. And what I really like is it's an old school hand-drawn pattern. I love those. I love me some hand-drawn patterns that are old. So that's that. Let me move along here so I can get all this in. Then, of course, me and cardinals. So I got the Bent Creek Snapper, the red. And I love that little cardinal. And I like that it's a small one. It's very small. It'll be 3.1 inches by 3.1 inches. If I do it on 30 count. So, I like the little small ones. Then another patriotic one that this just hit all my buttons again. Bent Creek's Flag of Stars. And that's just really cool because it's funky. It's different. It's patriotic, but it's not like everything else. So I really thought that was funky, and it's a fully kitted up piece. So that's great. It's got the fabric and the threads. So I only need to hoop it up and go. And now I needed another memorabilia, like I need a hole in my head. But when I saw Earl Grey lady, oh my God, guys, an Earl Grey tea is my favorite kind of tea. And no, it's not because I'm a Star Trek Next Generation fan, although I am a Star Trek Next Generation fan, but I love Earl Grey because it's citrus. And I also drink Lady Grey. She is just, it's going to be a lot of fill-in stitch, but, on some level, I really like the mindless stitching associated with fill-in stitch. I'd probably do the fill-in on the moon and the dark background last, just so I could. So, yeah. Yeah, I needed another memorabilia, right. Sure. And so then I bought 3 of the 5 bead packs. They didn't have the other 2. And then I got a My Big Toe Designs needle minder with an airplane on it to commemorate the trip. So I got my 3 of my 5 bead packs for that. And then I got this. I thought this was the most adorable little scissor fob type thing. And I'm wondering if this little dude will keep me from losing my scissors down the sofa like I always do. I don't know, but I'm willing to try it because I'm tired of losing scissors, and I just thought the little sheep was cute. And then I got some Gentle Arts sampler threads, because I love these. First off is Presidential Blue. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up now that my camera light has gone out. I may have to re-show these once I get home. But I got Presidential Blue, Apricot Blush, which is a nice kind of peachy, yellowy, pale color. Baby Spinach, which is a nice kind of olive green. Let me see if I can... Ah, here we go. There's some light over here. So, Baby Spinach. Let me see if I can show you. My phone just went into battery saver mode, so that's why the light turned out. But this is a very dark, like dark navy blue with some lighter blue in it. Then Dragonfly I thought was very cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the kelp, Karen Water Lily's kelp, because it's kind of brown and green, but I thought that was pretty. Then I got Cinders, which I can't really describe. It's kind of a purplish, brownish black, sort of. It's not really black. It's like a purplish brown. Hard to show in this poor lighting now that my light went out. Then I got some black licorice, which I love how rich and dark that is. And then I got 3 skeins of claret, which is as close to UMass Red as I could find. You would think maroon would be an easy color to find, but there are so freaking many versions of maroon. This one is as close as I could find to UMass Red, and I'm going to use the black licorice and the claret to do the tribal football helmet. Then, because you know I've become obsessed with orange in recent months and years, I got Fragrant Cloves, which is a very bold orange. This would be pretty in any Halloween piece or autumn piece you might be doing, something with pumpkins. And then I got, because I'm obsessed with all things green, as well as purple, I got Pine. And that really does look like an evergreen tree. So there you have it, a quick little overview of my trip to Shepherd's Bush. I've had a blast so far, and the people of Provo are just such genuinely sweet people who truly seem to live out their faith. I love it here. There's something to be said for being in a faith-based community where everyone is so caring and good to each other. And I will do a more in-depth video when I get back, and so I can actually show you the patterns and the colors of the thread a little better. I was excited and wanted to do a brief little video on my cell phone. Pardon my knee in the middle of the shot there. And until next time, I wish you happy stitching and a happy life. Bye, folks.